Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Bryan Wilson Show. Today I have Once Upon a Time star Michael Coleman. How are you today?
I'm good, Brian. I'm really good, thanks. How about you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just been excited to meet you and have you
Oh,
on.
I'm excited to meet you as well.
So let's get started. How did you find out about Once Upon a Time?
Uh, I remember I got a call from my agent uh, saying there was a new big show coming to town, and they were casting a lot of the series leads and regulars out of Los Angeles, and they were doing searches in New York and all around the world and stuff. But because they were shooting in Vancouver, they were also looking at a couple of Vancouver actors. Um, I was not invited to the first couple rounds of auditions. They had other people that they thought might have been a better fit, and they had a hard time casting some of the roles. So
Really?
in the very final round of casting, I guess I came in and said or did the right thing or had the right smile, and I was fortunate enough to be a part of the project, and really felt honored to have that opportunity.
I'm so glad that they chose you.
Yeah, me too.
Can
I've met some of my best friends in the world through this show, so I'm still incredibly close with many of the cast and crew, and it was a memorable experience. Some of the fans have been incredibly kind and gracious, so it's been really cool to see that and experience that. So it's been a lot of fun.
you tell us what the audition process was like?
That's a good question. You know, it's funny you say that. Nobody's ever asked me that question. So for the Seven Dwarfs, we all read Grumpy's lines, but we read them in our characters' identifying characteristics. So, Sneezy would have read it, but having a cold.
Mm.
We had a very tired performance from Mr. Festino Tabata as he read Grumpy's lines, and they asked me to do Grumpy's lines, but happily, which is really weird because Grumpy is everything he says is so angry. I remember getting the audition thinking, I don't know if I'm a good enough actor to do this. Like, this is a lot of angry dialogue. I don't know how to say
You're
that.
very outgoing, you know?
Yeah. So it's like, so I had to say a bunch of really angry stuff, but with a smile and a laugh and find the humor in it. And, I was actually really lucky. My wife and I were on the drive over to the audition, I just found out that, like, my wife gave me a call and we just found out we were pregnant with our first child. Uh,
Oh, cool.
so it might have been the happiest moment of my entire life.
And that's why you
And
got the part happy.
it's probably why I got the part happy, because I walked in there, and to be honest with you, and it's no disrespect to any part of the show or anything, there was other things on my mind.
Well, yeah,
I
yeah, family comes
I had
first, you know?
created the miracle of life with the woman of my dreams, and we found out we were pregnant. So so it was pretty easy to be happy that day.
Everything's meant to
Yeah.
happen for a reason, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. My next question is, when what was it like filming the musical episode?
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and it's actually a really talented group. Like, I became good friends with a lot of those guys, and I know a lot of them could sing all right. Like, I knew Ginny and Josh were both amazing singers in advance. I knew Beverly Elliott, who plays Granny. I knew Beverly had a lovely voice, and Beverly and I've sang together a few times on different things. The one opportunity that was truly missed, one of the greatest singers on the whole show was David Anders, who plays Dr. Whale. Maybe the greatest singer on the whole show. Just brilliant. Such a beautiful voice. But it was really fun, So, and then, when we were singing and dancing at the wedding, it's kind of what you want every acting gig to be. Like, it's just, we'd all been together by that time for 6 years, and it was just a chance to sing and dance and be funny and silly, and it's fun.
What was your favorite song?
That's a tough one. Like, they're all so good. Like, I think Rebecca Mader did a wonderful job with her song, I loved Lana's song. Lana's song was so great. It's the Evil Queen. Josh and
You're a
Ginny.
little feisty in that song, wasn't she?
Yeah, Josh and Ginny were magical. Colin's song is so. Colin is an incredibly accomplished rock star. So to get somebody like him to sing and do all what he was doing, it's like, yeah, he is maybe one of the most talented human beings I've ever met. So yeah. Anyway, everybody did a great job. So it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
When did you guys film the wedding scene on a green screen, or how did you guys film that?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we shot that on a green screen. Can't remember if it was green or blue. I remember whatever the color was, it was the same color as the first outfits the dwarfs all were supposed to wear at the wedding. So we all had to get new outfits for the wedding because we would have looked like we were just floating heads because our suits were the same color as the screen. So
My favorite song from the musical episode is actually Happy Beginning. That one.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's the only one they let us sing on, so also one of my favorites. So that was good times.
My parents actually got to meet you when you came to Omaha, Nebraska, and just so happens, I got this.
Hey, look at all those handsome devils. Look at all those short little drinks of water.
When you go to conventions, what are fans' reactions when they get to meet you?
Yeah, I think they're actually like. I gotta be honest with you. I have not had a negative in-person reaction yet. Like I think, like everybody's been really, really super respectful.
Mhm.
I usually go with my wife and children, so like we often like to walk around and just. I'm really never really comfortable with a status thing, so we like to just think that cast, crew, fans, we're all on the same level. We all had a different part of the story, and so we've met some really, really cool, nice people, and I've had a complicated medical history, so I've met other people with complicated medical histories, and we've got to connect and talk about how this show of hope and redemption and recovery and family and community has affected their lives. The same thing happened with me. I got very sick in season 4 or 5 or something, so I was actually in the ICU. I was in intensive care for a couple of months, and so we weren't sure I was going to make it. So
I'm sorry.
yeah, so it was a scary time, but it was actually really, I had my castmates all either gave me a call or came by and visited or sent me things. It was really nice. It was really inspiring. And, I've had a chance to talk to a lot of different fans at the conventions about just sort of the trials and the challenges they faced in their life. And it's really, really cool to to share some of my own and share how the show has been a positive experience for all of us. So, yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that, dude.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's I think what doesn't kills us makes us stronger. So
That's exactly right.
yeah, so I've had a couple chances in life for things that made me stronger. I think I'm about as strong as I want to be right now. I'm tired of, but
Well, you look good.
thank you. I feel good. I feel good. So yeah, no, it was a positive experience. I wouldn't have traded it for the world, and it was really cool.
What was something that you got to take home from Once Upon a Time?
Nothing. But I did steal a bunch of things. So
Ooh.
yeah, I kept a bunch of my noses and my ears from the dwarf thing, and I gave them to different fans and stuff because I thought that's something I would have wanted if I was on the show. I think that'd be a cool thing to have. And then when the show was over, some people got to keep some of their things. I mean, what I really wanted was my axe, and I didn't get to get my axe. However, my axe did end up on eBay through an auction. The show was auctioning off a bunch of props, and a bunch of fans got together and they bought me my axe and they mailed it to me. So I do have my axe from the show. Thank you to a bunch of incredibly kind oncers, and that's the fandom I really love and appreciate. It's that level of gratitude and that level of community and kindness and family. It's just, yeah, it's beautiful. I think it was a really touching moment when they did that.
That's
And
cool.
I've got so many stories like that where fans have just been so incredibly kind with their words or gifts or tokens or things like it's just been remarkable.
You ready for a fun question?
Yeah.
Who's the prankster in the cast?
Well, I'll tell you this: almost everybody. Uh, there's a, I wouldn't turn my back on Dave Anders. Josh Dallas is known for a joke or two. Colin O'Donoghue and Sean McGuire could be pretty funny. Rebecca Mader is more laughs than should be legally allowed. It was a great group. Everybody, Bobby, Robert Carlyle, Emily DeRaven, everybody was just like really, really cool people. Karen David, like we didn't get just know each other. Like a lot of the cast, we all had children at the same time. We've met each other's parents. It became like a family. So, I feel really, really fortunate. Jared Gilmore, we're really close with him and his family still, who played Henry. Right through to season 7, even though season 7 took a little bit of a different direction, we all still really managed to connect and invite them into our family, and they invited us into theirs. That was really cool.
How long did it take you to, how long are filming days, like to film a couple scenes a day?
It depends. So, the days could have been anywhere from, on average, probably about 12 or 13 hours a day. But there was one day, I think it was about 17 hours or something. It was something insane. So
Jeez.
Some of the days are longer. But I'll also be the first to tell you, as one of the actors in the show, not nearly as hard as it is for the crew. Like our crew was insanely talented, kind, generous, giving, supportive. Like when I'm on set for 17 hours, I'm in my trailer for 10 hours and on set for 7. These people are on set for 17 hours and they're working hard and they're always moving and they're always keeping a smile on their face and they're just being kind, professional, and amazing. And it's one of the best crews. I've worked with some amazing crews in my life. I've been doing this for 30 years. With this crew, above and beyond in every department: hair, makeup, special effects, props, camera, sound. Like I could just go on and on forever. The woman who was in charge of the leaves and the trees on the show was amazing. It was just insane. It was just a really cool experience.
I could tell you guys are a big family because I've seen some of the interviews that you guys done, and I could tell how close you guys are. That's pretty cool.
We've all been through a lot together, so it's that galvanizes you and it shapes you in a different way.
Speaking of sets, how did they film the forest scenes and the castle scenes?
Well, actually, they filmed the forest scenes in actual forests, and if you look out my window, that's where fairy tales are. So I actually literally live in fairy tale land in real life.
That's cool.
So I like the short drive for the fairy tale stuff. It was a very long drive whenever I had to go to Storybook. Like that's a long drive for me. It was about 2 hours. But when we're in fairy tale land, that's all here. So that's nice.
Very cool. What is your dream role that you would like to be in?
It's a good question. You know what? I don't know if I have one yet. There's certain roles that certain actors have played that have been so legendary and iconic and have allowed people to just connect to their own humanity in a different way. I would love to do one of those kind of roles. Like I feel like, there's certain, like, or opposite. Like we had the honor of working and become friends with a gentleman by the name of Giancarlo Esposito, who's from Breaking Bad and Mandalorian and all these other great shows. And I just think about how he's been able to connect to the shows and the fandoms and the different things he's done. Like, what a gift of an actor! What a great guy. But I'd love to, there's certain roles that, like I look at, I think it'd be fun to do something, like I look at some of the iconic characters from the movie The Princess Bride or something along those lines. And I just think of what those characters mean to different groups of people from all over the world. And I think those are special. I think as actors, we're effectively hired to serve the story. That's our job. We have one job, and and stories have basically shaped society. They educate or they entertain, and in some rare cases, they do both. So I think to do anything where I get to educate and entertain, that's a fun thing.
Have you ever thought about Broadway?
Yeah, I think, yeah, I would. I already know how I die. I'm gonna play Jean Valjean on Broadway in Les Miserables, and then somebody's gonna say, "Wow, as an actor, you've almost got it," and then I'm gonna die. That's gonna be that's a hero's death for
That's
that man.
awesome.
Yeah. So that's a role I'd love to play Jean Valjean in Les Mis.
Great
That'd be fun.
musical.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I'm an actor today. I saw it when I was a kid, and when I watched, I was 14 years old, and I sat in a giant theater. And as a 14-year-old young male in the area I grew up in, we just didn't cry. Even if you could have a knife in your face and you didn't cry. And I sat there and I was watching this story, and I started sobbing like a baby. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the most powerful thing I've ever experienced in my life. I want to make people feel like that. What a cool gift." And yeah, so that's what I'd like to do.
Very cool.
Yeah.
If we're going to talk about your character Happy.
Sure.
If he had his own chapter or story, what would it be about?
That's a great question. So there was a couple false starts for Happy that never got revealed. So there's a couple ideas that they messed with in season 1 and 2, where Happy was supposed to be this or that. You know, it's interesting because I always, we had some really talented writers on the show, so it's always tough when somebody asks a question like that, because I really do firmly believe that an actor's job is to serve the story. So whatever story the creators created or whatever story the writers wrote, I feel it's just our job is to honor them. All of us fantasize about where we'd like to see our characters go or what we'd like to see them do. Like I would have loved to see, I would have loved to see what happened to the boys in the hovel on different days. Like what a great sitcom spinoff. But I like to think that Happy was just always out to get a laugh and wasn't afraid of anything. So I like to think that, that's sort of what shaped who he was. He was always ready for a fight, but he was equally ready for a laugh. So.
All right. Speaking of fighting, what villain would Happy fight?
I think I don't think Happy's afraid of anybody. Although I think his knees probably shook a little too often when Regina was around. Lana Parrilla did a magical job with that character. I'll also say Bobby Carlyle, just legendary. Two great performers. So yeah, I'm pretty sure both would make pretty quick work of Happy. I'm not sure Happy would turn down the fight, but I'm quite confident he would lose rather quickly.
He's so nice, though,
Yeah. Yeah, I like to think that both of them would have shown some form of mercy and let me crawl back to my friends, but I don't know. It depends on what season we're talking.
Or have Grumpy fight for you.
Yeah, sure. Any of the boys. Yeah, like we all became pretty close. That was a fun part of the show.
What has been the most exciting convention or event that you've been to since Once Upon a Time?
You know what? Probably I did one in the UK that was quite memorable, and it was my first time overseas, and I just thought the fans were really, really respectful and cool. It was a little bit of a mix. It was a bit of a bigger convention, so we had a lot of the cast there. So we had, I think, 4 of us from the Dwarves, like Grumpy, Sleepy, Sneezy, and myself were all there. Giancarlo Esposito was there, Lana, Bex, Sean, Colin, I believe. Like there was just all of us were there, and it was pretty cool. A lot of the actors are from that area, so it was kind of cool to check out their homeland, and that was a really cool time. I was actually I mentioned I got really sick, so that was actually I had only been out of the hospital for a few weeks, and so to go from I think I'm gonna be dead to this world class band convention was kind of a polar opposites in terms of where I thought my life was going at that time. But yeah, it was good.
What when you guys had special guests, who are you most excited to meet out of the special surprise guests?
Yeah, we had some great ones. Barbara Hershey was one of the ones. I'm watching her forever. I think she's a legend. which was brilliant. They were all good. You know, Georgina Hegg, who played Elsa, was just one of the most loving human beings on the entire planet. Rose McIver was our Tinkerbell, and then she went on to have her own show, iZombie, that shot here in Vancouver as well. And, you know, David Andrews, who I met earlier, was also a series regular in that show. You know, Giancarlo Esposito might have been the coolest one because I'm a big Breaking Bad fan. So
Oh yeah.
it's kind of that string every day. We had Sebastian Stan, who's gone on to be a superhero. But Sebastian was a pretty cool dude, and they had him in the earlier seasons. It was a lot of fun. It's kind of like a modern day James Dean. Like, he just epitomized cool. So, and Ginny Goodwin, you know, Ginny Goodwin's super brilliant. You know, it's so fun. Like, it's weird because a lot of them become friends, but yeah, I still remember how cool it was being like, oh my gosh, it's Judy Hopps from Zootopia. That's insane.
Awesome. One of my last questions for you. What are you working on now? Are you working on anything exciting?
Yeah, I'm working on actually a whole bunch of projects. So I'm about to go to camera on a new, on an older series I did. It was a series I did just before Once Upon a Time, and then we didn't shoot anything. So I shot season 1 years ago. It's a show called Hipsterverse, and we're just about to shoot season 2. It's a show I write and star in, and it's a comedy. It's very much like The Office or Parks and Rec, a little bit of a cringe comedy thing that get to act with some of my best friends in the world. That's pretty fun. Got an animated project that people will, I write it and I voice it, and for anybody who listens, you'll see or hear some of my old Once Upon a Time castmates will be in it. And then shooting a movie called Exchanging Vows, and shooting another series called Skylar. And yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, it's been very. Oh, and then I just finished writing another feature as well. And I'll play a role in that. And it's just I wrote something for Comedy Central. So
Cool.
working on a lot of comedies, and which is good job for Happy. Acting in some, writing in others, pulling double duty in a few. All of them have some super cool actors attached to them. I can't say anybody's favorite yet, but it's as soon as yeah, we're getting close to shooting again. So COVID slowed a bunch of it down, but we did really good here in Vancouver. So we're getting ready to gear up again and start shooting some of these things. So yeah.
If Once Upon a Time came back, where do you think Happy would be?
I'm not sure. Well, when they did season 7 and took the show in a whole different direction, I think a bunch of it sort of just disappeared in perpetuity. Yeah, I'm not sure. No, you know, it was a really magical experience, and it was a great 7 years. Part of me is happy to just let it be where it is, and just let everybody else's. I'm more curious where everybody else thinks everybody else would go. Like, I think a great show is one where everybody gets to imagine what happened to everybody, and everybody has to create their own.
Yep. Like, just think.
Characters. So, you know, I think that'd be a lot. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, as dwarfs, we didn't really fall in love, so I don't think there's any romance or anything in any of those guys. But you know, I like to think maybe Happy opens up a small stand-up comedy store and bombs every night, but has a good time doing it.
Have you been back to the set since you guys wrapped up?
I haven't. No, and I actually live in the neighborhood. Well, I mean, I'm in the Enchanted Forest all the time because I live in it. But outside of there, no, I've been to the town hall, and we saw the town hall throughout the show. It's a big yellow building. I've been to there. We actually I've filmed there for a lot of different movies and TV shows over my life. So, in Once Upon a Time, it was our town hall, and other movies, it's been other things. So, yeah, I've been there, but I've been there a million times for a million different projects. So,
when fans find out that you guys are actually filming on filming days, what are the reactions like?
I would say, you know, it was actually really, really cool. I would say it was one of the more, I've been doing this for 30 years. It's the first time that I really witnessed fans come out to watch us film. Like, it's not those kind of numbers. And I think it was one of the shows that really took that sort of a thing in a different direction in terms of television. So we had crazy amounts of barricades and fans and all that sort of stuff, paparazzi filming everything we did. And that was, yeah, it was kind of cool. And I would say it was really cool. And most of us in the cast made it, a point to make sure we went over and said hi and thank everybody, as many as we could, one-on-one. And, it's one of the things that's different about when we do things on camera versus theater. Like when we do theater, we take a bow, we might, walk outside on the street after the show and shake a few hands, or, well, not today, but in a non-COVID way. And, we could say thank you to people one-on-one. It's what I really like about the fan conventions, is I've always felt an immense sense of gratitude. So it's really cool to, like, I've never felt comfortable having anybody think I have a false sense of elevation just because I said some words somebody else wrote. But I do always feel really appreciative when people respect our craft and respect us for what we did and how we served the story. So to get to thank everybody, because if people didn't watch it, we wouldn't have been on. So the opportunity to do that is always a really rewarding experience. It's my favorite thing about the conventions, is that it's, reconnecting with old friends. So it feels a little bit like a family reunion. And then it's getting to personally thank people one-on-one for supporting something that was so special to all of us.
When did you guys realize how big the show got? Like, where were you?
I'm not sure we ever knew. I really don't. I don't know if we ever knew. I think, when we shot season 1, well, that was a great show. I enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed being on it. And we were like, oh, that's pretty cool. I hope somebody likes this thing. It's kind of fun to be on. And then when we did season 2, like, if you were to ask us during season 2, are you guys going to shoot a season 3? Not sure. When we shot season 4 or 3, are you going to shoot a season 4? Really don't know. Hope so. Be neat. And I think it just sort of happened that way all the way through our first 6 years, which is what most people's contracts were, was that first seasons. And so I think a lot of us, it caught us off guard. A lot of us, had a good time with it, but had no idea what we had on our hands. I'm not sure we do to this day know what we had.
Because it's an incredible show. It's actually my favorite show of all time. So.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's so nice to hear. That's really great. That's so cool, man. That's like, it's, I think, there's a big responsibility when you take on a show like that. Like, you effectively reimagine iconic characters and stories that all of us grew up with. So to have any connection to that in any way, shape, or form. But I also think we're all on the same page. Like, whether you watched it and supported it, or were in it, or filmed it, or built the props for it, or wrote it, like, we all contributed to this really cool story for 7 years. And I think it's something we all get to share and should be really proud of. And lots of stories of love and redemption and family and hope. And we had some cool experiences with it. One of my favorite, we had some fun stuff. Like, my wife and I, we went to Disneyland a couple times, and when we walked around, it was kind of a fun experience. There was one thing in particular we're walking through, and Disneyland has all these different bands and stuff that play throughout. And we're walking through, and my wife and I have loved Disney forever. We went to Disney World for our honeymoon. We've gone to Disneyland probably twice a year for as long as we've known together. We've been together like 18 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We love it. And one day we're walking through Disneyland, and as we're walking by, the band's playing, and they quickly switch songs when they start playing the classic Hi Ho song. And we're both like, what are the odds? That is so weird. So, like, we sat and, of course, enjoyed it. We loved it, and we applauded. And then my wife went over. She's like, guys, this is so weird. This is going to sound so random. I don't know if you've heard about it. My husband's actually on a TV show about, like, 7 Dwarfs. It's called Once Upon a Time. And they're like, oh, we know who he is now. It's just kind of fun. Like, that was a really cool moment. So that was pretty cool.
Do you get recognized when you go out a lot?
Sometimes, yeah. Like, it's always weird. Like, but yeah. And like, sometimes, like, I go see a lot of movies. It's always weird to me when I go see movies, and, like, whoever the movie ticket taker is like, hey, are you that guy from that show? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's so weird. But, like, I'm in my Clark Kent outfit right now. I'm just here to watch movies, not make them. So
they're probably looking at your ticket like,
yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
What has been your most crazy fan encounter?
If
If you have one.
Yeah, It's a crazy question. I don't know. I'd say anything on social media has been pretty crazy because honestly, it's just a different world, and it's just but I'd say the ones that I've had a really cool opportunity to meet people from all over the world, and it's always an honor to do that. And it's always really special to meet somebody, and again, even if it's just through social media, get to thank them and say thank you for doing this. I don't have any crazy one. I got so many great memories. Like, again, just so many really kind, respectful people that I've met from all over the world that are just really, really supportive and kind about the show and the work we did. And it's been really magical. So I've met a lot of really, really, truly wonderful people. Like, everything that the show was, the thematic premise of the show with redemption and kindness and family, I feel like that epitomizes the Once Upon a Time fan. Like, I feel like, I wouldn't be surprised if we were all living in a movie where we all actually found out we were all actually fairy tale characters, because in real life.
That would be cool. That would be really cool.
Yeah, because I feel like that's been the majority of my experiences with the Once Upon a Time fandom have been insanely positive and just some of the most kind, giving, loving people. And it's been really cool.
Okay, my last and final question. Sure. What is inside the storybook? Is it just blank pages, or do you know?
I'm trying to think what the heck was inside this. No, it would have been stuff. I'm just not really sure. Depends on what episode you watch, right? Because we had so many different props that different things. So also, like, I think of Patrick Fischler and Jared Gilmore, who probably had more time with the book than anybody. I like to think that they were actually doodling their own stories behind the scenes. I'm not sure if they were, but I don't know. I guess that's sort of the magic that we never get to find out. It's kind of like in the movie Pulp Fiction, what was in the box? I don't know. Maybe Marcellus Wallace's soul, maybe not. I don't know.
This is a mystery to find out.
I think some things are more magical when we don't know.
Yep. Because when I'm watching the show, I'm like, is there really something in there? Because I watch it with my dad, and I'm like, is there something in there? And he's like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think I know, because there's a few times where we actually looked through the pages, and there was always stuff on the pages when we looked at it. But I don't know, like, everything we did, like even our axes, like I had like 10 or 12 happy axes, just like we broke them, or sometimes, this is something people don't know, sometimes we had super light ones, and then sometimes we had real heavy ones, because sometimes the days were just longer, I guess, or sometimes we were in the mine, and if we had the heavy one, sometimes we'd actually destroy the mine, and then if we did that, then we can't shoot the show anymore. So we'd have to wait till they rebuilt the mine. So that never goes over well. So we had some really light, rubbery ones, and then we had some heavy, real ones.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, Michael.
Thank you so much.
It was so nice meeting you.
It was an absolute honor. And again, I do want to personally say thank you to both you and your dad for watching the show. If people didn't watch it, we wouldn't have had a chance to make it. So thank you for that. It's I'm being as sincere as humanly possible when I'm telling you I have an immense amount of gratitude for you guys giving us the opportunity to do the years we did. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, you have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, bye now.